just love autotune. I also love T-Pain and Buy You a Drink. I really liked that album and I became so obsessed with it. I listened to it basically on repeat.
I was very surprised that they got Walton Goggins in it. It's my favorite character from The White Lotus. I think he's got such a good charisma as an actor.
I've been living in a dream world. It's time for me to go back to reality. Reality is waiting for me. Hello, welcome back to the Long Players Club. I'm your co-host, Allison, here with my other co-host, Miss Isabel. And
Hi.
we got an exciting album to talk about today. My favorite band that I've gotten into this year, The Strokes, they released the album Reality Awaits on, I want to say, July 26th, after a delay, actually. I think it was scheduled to be released earlier, but it got pushed back. So that released in July, and we are not so recent. We had a couple weeks to let it grow on us, but we're excited to talk about it today. So buckle up and let's talk about it. But before we get into the album, Isa, what are you listening to lately?
Yeah, what should I say? Lately, I was listening to The Strokes actually, like you recommended. So,
Huh?
but I just have to say, I just let this album grow on me and not the other history of their
Mm-hmm.
music. And besides that, I found a very interesting band that's called Father of Peace. And I figured out them because they covered a System of a Down song. System of a Down's very heavy metal music, but kind of funny as well. And they covered Enemy, and I saved it to my liked songs, and I was really like digging into their music, and I think it's so interesting and very unusual, kind of entertaining and easygoing, but sometimes very messy. I like
Mm.
the flavor of all these stuff.
Have you
And
recommended me something from
yes,
them? Yeah, I was
2
just
weeks ago,
checking. Yeah. I was just checking which one it
yeah,
was. I
and I
think I liked
saw,
it though.
yeah, they have. I think it's worth to give it a listen. I think it's not a band that I can like be a proper fangirl of, but I think it's easy and entertaining. And I saw also they are on tour on North America
Hey,
and Europe as well. But the
nice.
North America dates are also already sold out.
Wow, okay.
Europe still got tickets, also Cologne, and yeah, let's
When's
see.
the Cologne concert?
I think in October should be.
Okay,
Yeah,
everything's in
we can
October.
go it.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right, let's keep it
Yeah,
on the
but it's
radar.
interesting because I think maybe they are more popular. I didn't even recognize them from anywhere else than my maybe Instagram algorithm or so.
Are they from North America?
Yeah, I guess.
That's
Yeah, I guess.
probably
I don't know. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and besides that, I was really, really hyped this week to, yeah. We have the announcement that Dive got a new album upcoming in end of October. Oh my God, I'm so hyped.
Mm-hmm.
And they released a new single a few days
Fountain,
ago,
yeah.
The Fountain. And yeah, I was listening to it straight away and also the old stuff, but I'm always listening to
Yeah,
Dive.
you crazy person. You wanted to stay up till midnight for it to release. Thank God you didn't because it released at 6 p.m. the next day that it came out. But what did you think?
Yeah, I like it. It's
Mm-hmm.
yeah, as we know, it's yeah, we can do another episode when it's like released
When
the
the
new
album comes
album,
out,
but
when
this
Zerp
song is
comes out.
very yeah, when Zop comes up. But this song is yeah, kind of a good first impression of what awaits us, but I think also it's just like to connecting the old stuff with the new stuff is a good choice because it's still shoegazy, you're still listening
Yeah.
to Dive, although it's like mixed by A.G. Cook. So
The music in the background was very familiar. Like it really is
yeah,
the same vibe. You can tell it's them. Yeah, but it's a little bit more upbeat. I think it's
mm-hmm.
a bit
Yeah,
more. It's got a little
definitely.
more oomph behind it,
Yeah,
and maybe that's the A.G. Cook influence. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the album too. I liked there was one really cool lyric and it was something like "There's poison in the fountain of youth," and I'm like,
Mm,
ooh, that's interesting. Like I like that. Maybe that's not what they were going for, but I like the idea of thinking it's like and trying to keep yourself young forever, like you're killing a part of
yeah.
yourself. And I thought that was a neat concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the song too. I'm looking forward to hearing what the rest of the album sounds like.
Yeah, me too. And I cannot wait for tour dates to announce. They have some tour dates in November here from some music festivals, but
Hmm.
it's not worth it to just drive 3 hours to Belgium or so for a 1 hour dive. I don't
Well,
know.
I'm
Let's.
glad that they released a new album because I know you were floating the idea of going to see them again. I was like, but this would be the third time we've seen them
Mhm.
for Frog and Boiling Water. And I'm like, okay, good. There'll be new music. Yeah, okay. Now I can do
Yes,
that this time. This is fun.
definitely. Can't wait. Yeah. Yeah. What have you been up to the last weeks?
I have been listening on repeat to Pinkerton. The I think it was in the 90s. It's an album from Weezer. It was their second album. And I was always a fan of Weezer. Like I liked the hits of course, Beverly Hills and Island in the Sun, whatever. But I kind of got more into them a few years ago when Band Weezer came out. I really liked The End of the Game and I needed some of that. All the good ones are gone. And I hadn't really ever dug into their really old stuff, like, other than, yeah, Buddy Holly, the Sweater Song, the ones that everybody knows, and I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about Weezer, and they were talking about this album and how, like, the background of it is so interesting, and it's like, even the album itself, it's called Pinkerton, which is a character from Madame Butterfly, and the last song on the album is called Butterfly, and he has this obsession with Japan, and it's really, really interesting, like, the lore behind it, and I was listening to this album and it's quite raw. Like the first song, Tired of Sex, is very powerful and stripped down and he's like kind of screaming at points, but it's so good. And it really grew on me. I can't stop listening to this album. I'm listening from front to back, every single song. It is a no skip for me, but not in the sense of like that every song is incredible. It's more so just like you have to listen to it together, and I'm loving it. So I've been listening to that on repeat, but I also started doing a little bit of digging into the bands that we're going to see at the music festival All
Yeah.
Points East. What's it called again?
Mhm. Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
okay, All Points East. We're going in a couple weeks in London to go see this
Mhm.
festival. So I was listening to 21 Pilots again, and again, same thing. I know the hits and I like the hits, but I've never thought to listen to their other music. And they had an album come out last year, Breach, and there's one song called Raw Fear, and I am obsessed. I was just on a run and I listened to it, I think, 4 times on my run. So it is fantastic. I
Nice.
sent it to you on Spotify
Yeah,
too,
I
so
see.
you're
I
gonna have to
saw it.
listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm even more excited for the festival and really looking forward to seeing them. Sadly, have figured out that there's an overlap with a band I wanted to see and a band you want to see. I want to see Gang of Youths and you want to see Ren, and this is kind of the reason we were even going to the festival. And I also want to see Ren, but the band that I want to see. They haven't played in a long time. Like the on set list, obviously, I'm monitoring their set list so I can plan my day accordingly. And they did do a concert, I think, on Friday, but that was the first one they've done since 2023.
Mm.
So I don't have enough data points yet to find out if they're going to play the songs that I like. Because I only know a few songs from them, anyways. I'm not a huge fan or anything, but it's more so nostalgic reasons I would want to see them. But yeah, I have to see if it's worth it, if they're even going to play the songs that I like. So yeah, looking forward to the festival though, and I need some more time to dig into the other acts so we can
Yeah.
best plan our day.
There are a lot of we can set up a schedule for ourselves, and I see
Hmm.
there are very good like bands on this day, so
Hmm.
we will be impressed either way. So
Yeah, we're gonna
we
find
can.
enough to hear. But
Yeah.
but I'm also curious, I wanna look at and see who's in town in London, like,
Mhm.
not playing that festival, if there are any other shows going on that weekend that maybe we wanna see. So I'm curious to take a look and see what's coming.
Scheduling our own London festival
That's
trip.
right. That's exactly it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
we'll
also
see.
cannot wait. And I saw Ren in a story. He said to the crowd that he was investing a certain amount of his money into the stage building and stuff, and he
Okay,
got some other gigs going on as well these
cool.
days on other festivals. And he said like he's doing rehearsals all the week, and he's really excited to do it. So first time for
Nice.
him, first time his own like life setup. I'm very curious, and I
Gonna
cannot
be
wait.
great. I
Yeah.
can't wait. It's gonna be
But
a really fun trip.
I also have to get into the new album. He also released a new album with
Yeah, I have to listen to that too then. So
with
much
two.
homework.
It's a collaborative album with two other artists, and he
Cool.
drops a few songs out of it the last weeks I was listening to. But now the full album is out, and it reached #1 on the independent albums. So yeah,
Nice.
really good work, and I will
Very
get
cool.
into it again
Very
before we
cool.
leave.
Great. Well, okay. Then, without further ado, I think it's time to talk about the The topic of the day,
Yes,
reality awaits. So coming at it, do you want to give me your what do you know about the Strokes? What do you know about this album? What are you expecting?
it was really very. It was a journey for me. Let's say that because you sent me over. Oh, the
Well,
Strokes
you
are come.
wanted to review this album. You were the one
Yeah,
who suggested
yeah.
this one, so I
But
was
I'm just
surprised about
going.
that.
I just go a little bit further because you said, "Oh, the Strokes are coming to Cologne. You want to join?" And I said, "Yeah, why not? I know the Strokes from the Others Are Talking or Last
Yeah.
Night songs, the very mainstream songs." And I said, "Okay, yeah, I like the Strokes. Why not?" And yeah, then you said, "Oh, this album is out," and I thought, yeah, maybe it's a good point to talk about because I know you had a very deep rabbit hole this year in the Strokes
Mhm.
music, and you were really down there. And I think also it's yeah, kind of worth to talk about single releases or album releases. And yeah, I was really open because I just knew the hits and I don't know the musical journey the Strokes made.
Mhm.
And you said to me, "Oh, in North America, they are so famous." And first of all, I thought they were British, but yeah. But and I think also you said your dad likes the Strokes as well.
No,
So
no, my
no,
dad. I don't think my parents know. I mean, think they know the hits, but I don't think they're too into them.
okay,
My dad likes the Ramones, which I always get confused with the Strokes, honestly. So maybe that's what I was talking about.
yeah, yeah. And I think also the album cover really hooked me. So I was
Okay, well that's coming up later. Ease's
yeah,
graphic design corner. We gotta wait
and
for that.
yeah, I think it was very interesting album because I don't know about their musical history, and I think it's also like a fresh dip into the Strokes with a new album to get to know them better. And I'm very like, yeah, feeling inspired by the music they do on this album.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So I guess, yeah, maybe to give the background of, I also, I didn't, I didn't really know them. I knew the name
Mm,
and I've heard the songs Last Night and Someday from their first album, but I think I actually don't really like those songs. They're fine, but I wouldn't say that I think they're anything special. So I never thought to listen to more or anything like that. And yeah, I think it was Reptilia that I first actually liked and was like, "Oh, this is kinda cool." And again, I didn't really hear it until at
okay.
some point this year that it started or maybe last year that it started getting mixed into my algorithm a lot, and I was like, "Yeah, this song's pretty cool, whatever." But what it was that really hooked me is I think probably their least popular album is '80s Come Down Machine, and this album also features autotune very heavily, just like the new one, Reality Waits, which we can talk about. I know a lot of people have thoughts on that, but, that album I thought was so interesting, and I thought it was really cool, and it reminded me a lot of Daft Punk, Random Access Memories, which Julian Casablancas, like the lead singer of The Strokes, he actually sang on Daft Punk's album in the song Instant Crush, and maybe that's what it was, that it felt really familiar in a way, but I really or maybe I just love autotune. I mean, I also love T-Pain and Buy You a Drank, so, like, I think maybe I just like autotune, but I really liked that album, and I became so obsessed with it. I listened to it basically on repeat, and from there, I kind of moved into Angles, and I liked that a lot too, and it was at this point, I was like, "Okay, there's a new album coming out, this looks exciting." I think it's I saw a suggestion like, Spotify emailed me saying that there was a concert coming, do I wanna go? And it was that day I was like, "You know what? Okay, I'm gonna sit down and I'm actually gonna listen to a couple of their albums front to back to see if I do like them enough to go because it was kind of expensive too, and it's in Düsseldorf, which is a pain to get to. So I thought, "Yeah, okay, let me check it out." I think within 2 hours, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm buying these tickets, like, this is really good." So yeah, with this album coming out, obviously, I have an incentive to like this album because we already have tickets to this album's tour. So I want to like this album. I wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to be excited for the concert and I wanted to like the songs on it. And spoiler alert, yeah, I do. I love it. So
Mhm.
it's so great. Good choice to buy those tickets. I'm pleased about that. But it took me some time to get into it. Like the first single that came out, Going Shopping, I hated. When I first heard it, I was like, this is so stupid. And I actually don't mind it anymore. It has grown on me. It's still not my favorite song on the album. I would actually say it's probably my least favorite song on the album. But it I can listen to it. I don't skip it anymore. And yeah, and I was surprised to see that it was on Obama's recommendation of songs for the summer, but okay, sure, whatever. Uh, but yeah, so that song coming out, I was kind of bit like, "Oh no." but maybe I'm not gonna like this album. But then the second single, Falling Out of Love, I was obsessed with that one. I love it. I think it's such a beautiful song, and that really that brought me back into being excited for it. So
Yeah,
yeah.
nice.
Do you want to talk about any overall impressions before we start digging into the tracks?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I also had a little bit I needed a little bit time to let it grow on me because yeah, the autotune I'm also familiar with like you said, like with Daft Punk and stuff or some other artists or snippets in certain songs, but I'm not really a huge fan of it. I think sometimes it's too blurry. I think when you have a good voice, you don't really need it. And I know it's like to design a song in a certain way, it's necessary and cool, but I think when you do it as a concept, it will work well. But I think in this album, it's not really the full concept of the album, like doing autotune stuff, because as you mentioned, the song Going Shopping, it sounds more like the Strokes to me than
Mm,
the things they did before. But also then I thought maybe it's the song that's not the most pain for most people
mhm,
to put out as a single first to get the crowd interacting with the Strokes still, and then like being more. I'm curious about the other songs, yeah. But I had a little bit. It was at some point it was a little bit hard for me to not
yeah.
skip, but I just listened to it straight away, and I think the mood of the album overall is very, how do you say, abwechslungsreich,
I
like
have no idea.
not just in
Like
one
it's
mood, different mood.
changing, like it's
Yeah,
a
it's
changing mood. Okay,
changing mood.
yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. I think the mood is quite dark of this album.
Yeah.
I think it's yes, I think well, also, yeah, the album has to grow on you for sure. I would agree actually then with what you're saying because I think you have to be in the mood to listen to certain songs on this album and not all of them can you just put on. Like, you're right, different songs have really different themes. Like, maybe let's start then talking about each of the
Yeah.
tracks. So, the first song, Psycho Shit, I was skipping this song a lot until last night. I listened
Okay.
to it, I think probably 6 times in a row last night because I don't know why. I think I just put the album on and I thought, "Yeah, yeah, whatever, I'll just, like, start from." Normally, I start at Dine and Dash, but I thought, Let's start it from the beginning." And I was like, "Holy shit, this is incredible." The way it builds, and it starts out slow and it gets more and more intense until he's kind of screaming like psycho shit. It's so good, and the imagery is really strong, talking about a bird of prey and you're in your nest and you kill your prey from your nest from behind a desk, and it's like, and that's really interesting too because it makes you think of these people who control wars, who control genocide, right? That they're safe, they're in their sometimes they're in another country and they're sitting from behind a desk making a decision that's going to kill thousands of people. And I think that's really powerful. And I get the idea that this song is maybe about his relationship with his father. Like when you listen to some of the lyrics in it, your eyes are mine, and like a wounded child, go to your room. You love me because I was born. And it kind of talks to me of like of an a relationship where you feel like your father's maybe the predator and you're the prey, or like he's clearly someone very powerful, which is the case with Julian Casablancas, and he is the primary songwriter for the band.
Mhm.
So you have to imagine that a lot of this is inspired by his life, and that's how I interpreted it. And I think that's very powerful, especially knowing who his father is, who is the founder of, gosh, I can't remember. Maybe it's Elite Model Management. It's a modeling company. And yeah, so powerful man who had a lot of affairs and, was with a lot of women and a lot of maybe women that were working for him. That's kind of predator behavior. Obviously, I don't know the real story, so not saying anything, not trying to slander anybody, but that's what you read from what what limited stuff you know about them. And it just sounds really, really interesting and really cathartic. I think it's a powerful song and a very powerful opener to
Yes.
an album and setting kind of a dark mode, which is
Mhm.
totally contrasted to Going Shopping, which is so
Yeah.
poppy and preppy, like do 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 do. This is like I'm hunting you, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
Did you listen to this
absolutely.
one?
Yes, I listened to this one, and I also think it's setting up the mood that really reminds me a little bit of the Kid Capici album, like the
Okay.
Feel of Nature album. It was also like the setting up the mood at first, but yeah, as I said, it's shifting in between the songs, the mood. Like Go Shopping is very poppy, and I also thought it's a very interesting song. And at first, when I just put on the songs and hear straight away, I thought this is the intro of the album, but at least it takes like 5 minutes, like it's a
Yeah.
full song. But
And
for
it
me,
builds.
it builds up, and you get like you can really get a build up an imagination in your head what this
Mhm.
album will be like or sound like. But then on some certain point it's different again. So you
Mhm.
didn't know what to expect. And I like it. I liked it. I listened to it a few times. But as you said, to maybe dive into the other songs, I
Mhm.
sometimes skipped it too because
Mhm.
yeah, Dine and Dash afterwards is very like more
It's much more upbeat.
easier,
Yeah.
upbeat, and sometimes I'm not in a certain mood
I
to hear it.
agree. I agree. This is not a song that you put on while you're working. This is not a song when you put on when you're baking. This is a song you put on when you're like, I need to appreciate and absorb art right now. This
So
is a story, and
you
this
had
is
this
not
mood yesterday evening
casual
when you
song.
listened to it.
Yes, well, I was waiting for a train, but and eating my ice cream sundae from McDonald's. But I was like, yeah, chocolate sauce running down my face, like, damn, this slaps, and it was good. But it's also what I think is interesting is that there are some images that are brought up in this song that you see later on in the album as well. He talks about the halls of judging dead, so portraits in a hallway, which again brings me to the conclusion that I think it's about his family and it's about relationship with his father, and that comes again in Falling Out of Love, where he says, "Past the halls of judging dead, family portraits of the dead, and I know they felt the same." And that's in a bit of even though it's the same line that they're talking about, that's in a more of a I'm connecting with the people from the past, whereas this it feels like they're judging me, and it's yeah, it's different. This one really sounds it's a feel of unease, and somebody's watching you, and it's really cool. So,
Yeah.
but I found it very jarring the transition from this song to Dine and Dash. Dine and Dash starts so loud and fast, and it's not a smooth transition. So that's something I would have maybe changed, but okay. Unless, sorry, do you have any more thoughts on Psycho Shit, or should we go to Dine and Dash?
When you compare it to other albums, as you said, you did a deep dive into the discography. Have you ever heard some opener songs like this on the Strokes album? Or is it like very unique?
No, no, I haven't. I mean, but I also haven't listened to all of their albums like
Hmm.
fully. So the ones that I listen to, the two favorites that I have so far, they start with really upbeat, kind of like dancey songs.
Mm,
Like Machu Picchu in
mm,
Angles is super dancey, and same with Tap Out in 80s Come Down Machine. So this is no, this is a really different
mm.
mood. But again, I haven't listened to all the albums, so
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
there is some like this. Yeah. Dine and Dash. This is, by all accounts, what I've been reading on the internet and in the fandoms and everything, this is everyone's favorite song on the album. It is not my favorite song, but it's fun. It's catchy. I like it. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe it's my favorite song then.
There you go.
So
Get on the Reddit, girl.
I'm just a regular girl. Yeah, I like it. I like the vibes, and it reminds me also a little bit of that. I don't know, but the guitars or something and stuff in the background. I liked it a lot because it was easy, easy to listen to, but not too upbeat. I like the mix of it, and yeah,
I also found this one built though. This one it does kind of
yeah,
build towards a progression to a really powerful ending with a lot of drums.
yes, absolutely. I really loved it. Yeah,
And it's so long too. All the songs in this album are really long. Actually, I think they're all kind of like 4 or 5 minutes, which is it's kind of fun. You
yeah,
get to really get into them. But I don't like
it's
the weird
crazy.
British accent on this one. That's kind of strange. There's one saying like a wise man once said, "Birds of a feather die together." But again, they're also talking about birds again. The first song talking about a bird in a nest, and this is a recurring theme throughout the album. So it's you really see these connections coming back, and yeah, it's a really cool song. At first, when I heard it, I didn't like it because I was like, "Wow, why is it doing an accent? This is so strange." But and I think there's maybe a little bit less auto tune on this one than some of the
Mm,
other ones. So maybe that's also why you like. And
yeah.
maybe that's why I didn't like it as much. But I do still like it. It's a good song.
Yeah, but as I said, like this is not the full concept, the attitude of this whole album, because you have songs in between where it's not so present, and this is
Yeah.
what I like. You can pick your own cherries out of it then.
Hmm. So then we move into Lonely in the Future. And spoiler alert, this is my favorite song on the album that I heard from the new ones. Falling Out of Love is my favorite song, but I already had a couple weeks to let that grow on me. So Lonely in the Future was my favorite of the new ones that I
Hmm.
heard. There's some good auto tune in here. There's a nice diss of Anthony Fantano, the music critic, who I guess gave them a bad review. There's a nice line where he disses him, so that's fun. And I really like where he's like, "We kinda like your outfit, YOLO, you only live once." They also have a song where they called "You Only Live Once," I think, so that's kind of nice callback. And it was a cool mood. I liked it, and yeah, really, really upbeat.
Yeah,
And
it is.
yeah, what about you? Did you have
Absolutely.
any specific thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's also it's always crazy too when we compare our impressions because this song is also an easy song to me, but it really doesn't stick out to me. But
Okay.
the other way around, like it was with Diana Day, she said, "Okay, I don't mind it, it's okay." But then it's the other way around for me with Lonely in the Future. Yeah,
But
and
still, honestly, this is a strong run. Like these are three very solid songs after another, and this is a really great intro into an album.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I also thought about how do you arrange the songs again, and how do
Yeah,
you do the mood, and what's the beginning, the end, the middle part, and
I will
yeah, I think
always wonder that. I will
yeah,
always be wondering about that. And I think I heard an album where Lady Gaga said something about it, but I can't even really remember what she said.
yeah,
And it's just like, ah, yeah, I'm always gonna be curious about
yeah,
that.
yeah. But I think also
Yeah.
to the third, they're super long, and the album just got 9 songs, and they're mostly around 5 minutes to
And it's
go. So
45 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, you have a lot to hear to, and I think also from this point on, it's building up.
Mhm, mhm. Okay, and then we come to "Falling Out of Love." This is my favorite song on the album. I think it is so beautiful, and I think the autotune actually really adds something to it. This song reminds me of Instant Crush. This song reminds me of, Daft Punk. This feels it's like falling out of love for the first time. So there's a million songs about falling in love for the first time, and I think that's a totally interesting theme, and reminiscing on, oh, the first time you came to my family's house, the first time you met my family. And like, that's the line that I really like, the walking past the halls of judging dead. I know they felt the same. So I think that's really interesting. And again, I don't know if that's what they intended, but thinking about everyone at some point has experienced this feeling of falling in love, falling out of love. And that's something that connects us all. And that's something that's very human. So even though your great grandpa or something who you've never met, you have no relationship with, it's interesting to think I still have that connection to him because there was a time I'm walking under his portrait and he's dead. And there was a time when he was my age and in love for the first time. And I thought that was really cool to think about. And the song is just, even though it's a song about a relationship ending and falling out of love, it's so romantic to me. And I
Mm,
think it's just really nice concepts. And I think it's really emotional. And yeah, I think the autotune takes his voice to a level and to kind of this otherworldly level that you couldn't hear just with an acoustic version or with a stripped down version. But one thing I will recommend you as well, when I really connected with the song was hearing it played live. So there's a live, I think they're on the Stephen Colbert show and
mhm.
they do a live performance of this and it's really good. And it really made me think like, oh gosh, this is an incredible song.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I will dig into it again because I just made some notes and I thought, oh, I don't like it too much because yeah, this is definitely the most like
most auto
out
tuned. Yeah.
autotune voice. But yes, as you said, the concept of it and the story behind it, it really like sets the autotune into a special design thing you need to
Uh-huh.
add because as you said, when it's in an acoustic way, it's not that feeling you can
Yeah. Yeah.
express that. And yeah, I'm really I'm this is always the thing, right? When there's a new album release and you listen to the songs on repeat on your headphones on Spotify and then you experience them the first time live, it really like hits
Hmm.
different. And
It's
then
different. Yeah.
you're coming back with some other favorite songs after the gig
Totally.
and
Yep.
I'm really waiting for this to happen. So
Me
maybe
too.
it's
I can't
drifting
wait for the
again.
show. I
Yeah.
think it'll be great. But yeah, cool. So then we go to Going to Babylon. This is another good song. Like again, I haven't in this lineup, there hasn't been one yet that I'm thinking I really dislike. This one, I don't have anything specific to say about it. I know a lot of people online like this as well. This is another contender for a favorite from the album. I thought it was good, but it's not as strong as the first half, I would say, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. I think also for me it's more it's more easier to me for me to get to connect to this song than Lonely Future of Running Out of Love.
Mhm.
I like this song a lot and it reminds me a little bit of Circle Waves,
Okay.
I don't know, vibes because
Mhm.
it's also easygoing song and yeah, I like it.
Mm. I don't really have much more to say on that one. And then we talk about going shopping. So yeah,
Yes.
like I said, this is my least favorite song on the album. That is definitely the case. Now that I'm looking at the track list, I'm like, yeah, nope, this is my least favorite. I think the lyrics are kind of silly. Sure, you can read some depth to it if you want. Like, I want to be a 7 foot zombie. To me, that's like I want to be attractive and dumb. And I think that's even kind of another concept from The Great Gatsby when Daisy says there's nothing better in this world for a girl to be than a pretty idiot or something like that. I don't remember the exact quote, but yeah, because you're not smart enough to notice all the shit going on around you, but like, you're attractive, so people still treat you well. And maybe that's what he meant by it, maybe not. I don't know. That was what I took away. And other than that, I don't think there was any other strong themes, though. I do kind of like the end where he says, I'm going back to the city. Like, I can't take it. I don't actually want to be in the country. At the beginning, he says, I'm going out to the country. And then the end, he says, I'm going back to the city. I'm about to lose my mind. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of funny because I think that's probably what I would be like too. I think maybe I have in my mind, like, oh, I wanna live on the beach, a quieter existence, but I'm such a city girl at heart, and I
Yeah.
think I would never be satisfied with that,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought that was kinda
Yeah.
funny.
When I first set up the album and just played it straight away, it was like also a song I didn't mind. It was really sticking out to me because of the upbeat and poppy mood.
Mhm.
It was like really a good mood song, a happy mood song. And it shifted to me actually after I figured out what the video is about. Did you
Oh,
watch
I
it?
didn't watch the video, no.
It's so fun.
What's it about?
I was very surprised because I saw they got Walton Goggins in it. You know
Oh,
this
cool.
actor?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
From The White Lotus.
Yeah, it's my favorite character from The White Lotus. I think he's got such a good charisma as an actor. I really
Is he
admire
in
him.
Sons of Anarchy as well?
I don't know his whole
Okay, anyway, yeah,
list,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah,
he
but
all his credits.
they reached out to him to get him into the video, and actually
Cool.
he was acting for a new movie
Okay.
in some certain point. So actually, Walton Goggins was on the Canary Islands for a new film, and the Strokes flew over to just have a day or two with him to set this video up,
Cool.
and that's
Nice.
really cool. And he was also wrote on his Instagram that he was very touched by it to get the honor to be in a
Yeah,
Strokes video, and he does it so good, and it's very
I have to watch it.
like a parody of
Yeah,
the topic, and there are some clowns in it and some people around them. And
okay.
it's I also saw on the internet that it's a
Yeah.
homage on,
Al,
yeah, you can call me Al.
you
That's
can be
the
my
homage.
bodyguard.
Yeah, on this video, and it's very entertaining. I loved it. And
Okay,
this
I
is the
gotta
way
watch it.
the song changed to me because I like the attitude of the also the Casablanca and Goggins are sitting there together, and you also see the Strokes then.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it's funny because you mentioned the Canary Islands. That's something else to bring up is that I think this album was written and mostly recorded in Costa Rica. And so the producer was Rick Rubens, who is like icon status. I mean, this guy has produced some incredible albums. I think he also they've worked with him before.
Hmm.
And maybe the new Abnormal was done
Yes,
with
they
him.
did. It was a
Yeah.
yeah.
But he's also produced, like, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think some Metallica albums, I think yeah, endless amounts of stuff, and he's a really incredible producer. I think he's pretty well regarded as, like, a legend, and, yeah, so I think that's also something cool is that, they had a producer that they were comfortable with, and, I don't know if it sounds a lot like the New Abnormal. I only know that album, I would say, like, 50%, so I need to dive in to see if there's any
Yeah.
comparisons I can find here.
I also
But
read that they were like recording years ago these new songs and
mm,
just like put it out some years later. Maybe it's just
okay.
was straight after the new abnormal.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Okay,
Yeah,
going
but
shopping.
go and see this video. It's very
I will.
fun.
I will. I will watch that if you watch the live performance of
Yes.
Falling Out of Love.
Yes.
Okay, and then maybe our answers change. But yeah, Liar's Remorse. I like this one. This is like a slower one. I think there's a really cool melody in it. I can't think off the top of my head of any lines that stuck out to me, but I do like this one. And again, we're at song 7, and if you skip going shopping for me, this is still a great run. I mean, but you know what? Going shopping is growing on me, and
Yeah.
for it being my least favorite song on the album, I still like it a lot more than I like my least favorite song on a lot of other albums. So this is really strong lineup. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Did you like this song?
Yes, from this point on, it really is a little bit shifting to me because now it was a little bit like you have upbeat and some songs I really like, but now it's a little bit hard for me to get along. But actually, we are at the fifth song, and now it's turning a little bit down for me as well. So Liar's Remorse was okay for me. The chorus is nice, but in between it was a little bit too messy, and I didn't like it that much. Yeah. But
Okay.
it was okay, I don't mind it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
skip it, but yeah, it's not that sticks out to
I
me.
also think I don't skip it, but I don't like nothing stands out to me in
Yes,
it. It's nice, it's fine, but there's nothing that I'm like, oh, I have to replay this. But that's the fun thing about albums. Maybe in 5 years I'll listen to this again, and this is going to be the song that I'm
yes,
like, why didn't I appreciate it back when this
yeah,
came out? So never know.
yeah.
Fruits of Conquest. This one was very upbeat. I like this one. This was a bit more dancey. I thought this one was pretty good, and yeah, I hope this one's on the set list. I'm looking forward to
Mhm,
seeing this live.
mhm.
I think that'll be good.
My notes just say boring.
Okay.
I
All
don't know.
right.
I don't
Well,
know. It doesn't really like also didn't stick out to me as much. But I think it's very like straight away song, right? It's not
yeah.
so like dramatic or too
It's
upbeat. I don't
poppy, it's
know.
upbeat, it's
Yeah.
chill. But now the weird thing is, so the last song, I had Tyrants or Mellow, what's it called? Yeah, Tyrants of the Mellow Moon. But when I'm looking at the track list right now online, I'm seeing that the ninth song is Pros and Cons. Did you also have Tyrants of the Mellow Moon? Maybe this is a North American release,
Yeah, I
is
have
Pros
this.
and
I
Cons.
have this too.
Okay, I don't know pros and cons. I haven't listened to it, but Tyrants of the Mellow Moon, I think, is pretty good. It's again, nothing stood out to me. This one I actually usually did skip, but not because I didn't like it. I think usually just by the time I was finished with Fruits of Conquest, I was like, okay, time to listen to
Mhm,
something else now. And yeah, I don't know why I just kept forgetting about this one. So I need to go. I need to give that one a little bit more love because I have seen
okay.
online that a lot of people do like it. So
Yeah.
there's
I
probably
think
something.
it's a super interesting song now because now we are at the end of the album, and I think it's really fitting to the beginning, the song.
Okay,
It's really the same
I have
mood
to go
as
back
the
to it.
opener song. And
Nice.
I was just curious if we like do it on repeat, if the whole album will start again with the opener track. But I don't know if the transition is there, but it sounds very familiar to the other song we had, the opener as the opener,
That
like
would be a really
Psycho Shit.
interesting
Yeah.
idea, and
I like
it'd be hard to
I think
find out.
when you open and end it, it really makes sense to like put the
To
brackets around
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
it makes sense.
Okay,
Absolutely.
cool. So what was your favorite song?
Yeah, I would go for Dine and Dash.
Okay, and my favorite song is Falling Out of Love, but Lonely in the Future is my second. But actually, after last night, now I kind of want to put Psycho Shit on that list too. So I have a lot of favorite songs,
Yeah,
but I'm really looking forward to seeing the concert. I'm
absolutely.
excited to see what the set list is gonna be. I was looking at their set lists recently as well, and I think they have a show last night that I wanted to check what the set list
Mm-hmm.
was from
Yeah.
that one. So
But they definitely have to mix in some other old songs. And I think they
true.
might not play every single song on this album.
I think so too,
I
probably.
can imagine that maybe the first or the last song is not there. Maybe just one of it.
Yeah, I think Psycho Shit would be a bit weird to play live, but I'm open to it. Let's see. So
Let's
who
see.
knows?
Yeah.
But okay, what about the cover? Uses graphic design
Yeah.
corner. Tell me what you thought. I didn't think any. It's like a cowboy. I was kind of like, all right, fine. Apparently, this is a photography series from some artist.
Yeah. It is.
Apparently, this is a famous photo or something, but I don't
Yeah.
know it. I don't know anything about it.
I just
Tell
did
me.
a quick research. It was like a Richard Prince artwork called Untitled Cowboy, and they like put it up again. I think read at some point that it's from a Marlboro advert.
Okay. Yeah.
And so this is the free spirit cowboy and cute. And I also read that they put on some other artwork on former album covers as well. So
Okay.
it's also a nice thing. I didn't know that this is like legal to put existing artwork as
You
your
probably
own
just have to
artwork.
ask or something.
Yeah. So I
I think
think it's
no, a lot of artists do that. Like
yeah,
Always as well. The Always, their first album of with all the faces and stuff. I think that's also
yeah,
like
okay.
a famous artwork.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's a good medium to put like existing artwork again in another context when it fits to your concept and
Actually, I have a story about this too.
mhm.
So Hone, my favorite of their albums, Love Me Not, it's a like a red and blue, or no, it's just red with like a girl looking in a mirror, and the mirror is like this bright blue. And it's really striking. And I never thought anything about it. I assumed it was their own art. And when I was in Vietnam, I was in Hanoi and I was just walking through a garden, and there was like an exhibit in the garden of I think it was Vietnamese artists working abroad, and there was suddenly, like, this album cover, my favorite Hode album, and I saw it and I was like, "Oh, so cool." And yeah, apparently it's like it was some painting that some Vietnamese artist did, and it was, like, published in France or something, and I was like, "Okay, so, yeah, that album
Yeah,
cover obviously was not theirs, they just liked this painting and, used it." But I had
yeah,
no idea, and I saw it in the wild and was
yeah,
like, "So cool." So
yeah.
that yeah.
It's crazy to just to spot it then in another like
Totally, in the wild, yeah,
yeah, in
yeah.
the wild.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I really liked it and yeah, I think it's I don't know if it's fitting the concept with the cowboy. What do you say?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
like reality awaiting to catch a cow? I don't know.
No, even the title, like Reality Awaits to me says like I've been living in a dream world. It's time for me to go back to reality. Or reality is waiting for me. It's time
Yeah.
for me to step out of my own whatever I've been going through and my own thoughts and go back to the real world. And maybe this album is like, I'm gonna really indulge myself and live in my fantasy before I step back into reality. And maybe that's a part of the auto-tune as well, because it's
Mm.
otherworldly, it's something
Yes.
different. But I don't know. I couldn't say that this is such a clear conclusion for me.
Mm.
It's also with album titles, I never really think anything of it. I'm usually just like, whatever. It's an album. I usually don't think too much about it. Of course, I love it when the album title is sung in a song at some point, but, yeah,
But
I don't
it's
know.
not
And the
like that
cowboy,
in this
whatever.
album,
I
right?
don't think so, I don't
But
think
are they
so.
mentioning at some point in the lyrics? I'm not sure.
Reality Awaits, maybe, I don't remember specifically,
Yeah.
but it could be. But, yeah, the cowboy, I don't know, maybe that's also like an American dream in
Yeah.
some way, and that's, some sort of representation of freedom and
Yes.
another
After
world. I
after
don't
all
know.
these Yellowstone shows and
Maybe they're
spin-offs
trying to
came
cash in
out.
on that. They wanna
Yeah.
cash in the popularity of Yellowstone? I don't know. I don't know. The cowboy thing didn't
Yeah.
really say anything to me.
I really felt this album cover because I was also doing some
You were
horse riding,
cowboying.
that's right, cowboying, cowgirling activities. So yeah, I really liked it. Yeah.
Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, cool. Alright, then I guess any final thoughts on the album? You liked it? You excited for the show? What do
Yes,
you
I
hope they
liked
play
it.
live?
I hope, yeah, Gone Shopping will definitely be like I think it's a good song to play live to get the crowd
Okay.
into a specific mood. Also, if you do some lower tempo or depressing songs beforehand. So, but I hope for Dine and Dash as well, and also, yeah, going to Babble On or so. I liked also, so yeah. I hope it's not like psycho shit or life remorse. I don't know. It's not. I hope it's a good mix.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
just always
sure.
the thing, like when you have a like, album and go on tour, you still have to play the bangers.
No.
So,
Well, I'm
but
looking forward to it.
but I'm also like curious if they do like a concept around the show then with the auto tune. Do they like mix it or do they have like getting into the show with all the familiar songs and then the auto tune part of the newer album and then the
Like I said, they've got
mainstream song?
they already have auto-tune songs, like, this
Okay,
isn't
they
totally
already
new,
had.
so, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
see,
very
but I
curious.
don't think they usually play a lot from their heavily auto-tuned album, so I don't think that one usually makes it too much on
Mm-hmm.
the set list, maybe a couple songs, but, yeah, unfortunately not my favorite ones.
Yeah.
I've really struggled to find it on set lists, so yes, because 'cause I'm a freak and I do just go through the set list of artists I like to see what they play. But anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, great. Well, it was a good album, and honestly, I know we're at August, so we're eight months into the year. This is a contender for album of the year for me, I would say.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I think there's a lot of really good songs on here, and it's a really cool mood, and I wouldn't say a no skip album is maybe not actually the best kind of album, because I think the idea of no skip is like that every song is you like every song and every song's in the good mood. And I think the best art and the best songs are really divisive.
Mhm.
And that so sometimes like, a song that I love, I don't know, Dramamine or something, a Modest Mouse song, I think that's an amazing song. I think that's, like, one of the greatest songs ever written, but it's so down, it's so depressing that, like, I would skip it if I was in a really good mood and I was listening to something, and I think an album is really good when it has a lot of songs or it has songs on it that make you feel so strongly that you can't just listen to it
Mm.
when you're just kind of on autopilot and that you won't enjoy it in every mood. And
Mhm.
I think the best art are these songs that make you feel like that evoke such a strong reaction that it just wouldn't make sense to listen to it casually and that you really have to pay the attention.
Yes,
So
yes.
I think even though I think there's a lot of really strong songs on here, I think having songs like Psycho Shit or Liar's Remorse and even going shopping, these songs that are really specific, I think having songs like that on it that I necessarily wouldn't wanna listen to every single time, I think
Mhm.
that makes it stronger, and I
Mhm.
think that makes it more powerful, so I think this is a contender for me so
Yeah.
far. Let's see how the rest of the year goes, but, I really enjoyed it. I think it
But
was a
it's
great, yeah.
it's crazy that you mentioned that it might be the album of the year for you. How do you compare it then for the to the new Modest Mouse album that came out also early on this
Ooh.
year? Is it like in the same, how you say, arrangement to you or not?
I think it's hard to compare because
Yeah.
Eraser and Amaze, the new Modest Mouse album, that one sounds there's a few songs on it that I absolutely love and that it's giving me everything that I want from the band. But there's also a few songs on it that I think are a little bit more catering to a wider audience that maybe kind of neglects some of their existing fans, which is fine and actually important. I think that's how a band develops. But I don't think that album is different enough
Mm.
from their other work that it's really pushing an envelope in a way that I would say this is absolutely incredible and like really something new. Whereas Reality Awaits, I think, is really taking a lot of risks. And I
Mhm.
think it's something very unique. And I've never heard an album like that before. And every time they put out a new album, they go in a totally different direction. And if you compared Reality Awaits with like their first album, which I don't remember, is it This Is It? Something like
Yeah.
that? I don't remember the first album's
Yeah.
name, maybe it's that. But if you compare this album with that album, you're like, "Are these even the same band?" Like, this sounds so different, and
Mhm.
you can really tell that they've developed, and Modest Mouse, Eraser and Amaze is, of course, extremely different from This Is a Long Drive for Someone with Nothing to Think About, but you can still hear some of the same bass lines, some of the same style of music running through it, and that's also what I was gonna say about Dive. With Fountain, like, I mean, obviously, we're gonna have to see what the album comes out with, but Fountain sounds you can tell it is Dive. It hasn't like, maybe you can tell me, you can speak more on if you think that they are developing, if they are, evolving and changing, but I really hear it sounds like a Dive song. It doesn't
Yeah.
sound like something so like
No.
it sounds like a micro shift rather than a macro shift. You haven't totally seismically changed the direction you're going in, and Reality Waits, I think, kinda does that.
But I think also you still can hear also it's the Strokes or not.
Sure.
In
Yeah.
certain songs, I think you can tell, but in other
Yeah.
songs, as you said, yeah, it's quite new.
And because he loves autotune. Like, this
Yeah.
guy loves autotune, and that's not new, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
also a connection,
Yeah,
but
nice.
yeah, I think it's an envelope pushing album, I think it was really brave, and I think it pays off, I think it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, what a year full of albums. I also saw that Yeah, we had the Kikipiti release in January.
True.
We had the
Yeah.
Nothing But Thieves album coming up on the end of
Coming out.
December. Oh my
I saw
god.
they released
What?
another new song, but I haven't
Yeah, I
listened to
saw
it
it
yet.
too.
I have to get to that.
Yeah, what a year to make the conclusion at the end of the year will be very hard.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, it will for sure. But no, but how lucky are we? We get to hear such cool music.
Yeah, I never expected before. And I also read something interesting about the Strokes album that they announced it on a certain Instagram post and fans could sign up for like a short message and they got
Oh, cool.
a, a cassette actually with the
Hmm,
Going Shopping song, 100 fans or so. And it's a very crazy way to announce a new album. And Dive did it
totally.
the same way.
Yeah.
They put on a hotline you could ring, like
Mm.
call it, and then they had made a announcement and then a song snippet. And the
Did
whole
you
Dive,
call the
yeah,
hotline?
absolutely, I did it. And the Discord, the Dive crowd was going nuts because they said, oh,
Hmm.
I cannot call it, and what do you hear there? And but it's so cool to maybe just like doing all the other marketing stuff around it, like in another way, like
Yeah, yeah.
getting to sign up with an SMS, receiving a cassette, or calling a hotline. It's cool. I like it.
Should we have that? That people have to call a hotline to find out when our next episode is dropping?
Oh no, that's too difficult for the crowd.
Too much work. Yeah. No, cool. All
Yeah.
right. Great. Well, I love the album. This is great. Great chat about it. I have a question of the day for you,
Mm-hmm.
unless you have any other ideas, anything else you need to share.
No.
No? Okay. All right. Isa, you're at a concert. No, the singer has fallen ill. They cannot sing the last song. Luckily, there's a fan in the audience who knows every single word. You're called up on stage. What song could you sing?
Okay, what song can I sing?
What song do you know every word that you could sing?
I would say it would be the Rasmus song, actually.
Okay, cool.
And I would say go for In the Shadows. It
In the
works for me,
shadows.
but
Yeah.
maybe also in my life, but I'm not sure. I will test it. But one of these songs.
Okay, so for
What's
next
your
karaoke night, we'll
Yeah.
give it a test.
But also, like we did the I Believe in Think Out Loud, the
That's
Darkness
right.
song. That's also an easy song I could
That was
say,
that
but
one's okay.
sing, but
Easy.
not.
That was high notes. I could not hit those.
I would knew the lyrics, every word, but I could not do it, like perform it that high. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would not be my answer. Every time when I
Okay.
look back to this video from this karaoke night, I feel so ashamed.
I
Oh my
love
God.
it. It makes me smile so much. I think it's so fun. I think
Yeah.
it's so fun. Apparently, Niels did karaoke last night. I'm waiting to get the video of this.
What did he
Allegedly, he
sing?
sang Verlieben verloren.
Nice. Yeah, it's your
But
unofficial marriage song.
yes, yes. But I was trying to change that to Circa Waves. I was
Yeah,
trying to get
yeah.
Getaway to be our unofficial song, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yes, I
So,
need to see the video.
what's your answer to this question of the day then?
I think there's also a few that
There's
I
a
could
lot,
do.
so many songs.
Yeah. Definitely some Taylor Swift ones. I could totally
You
cover,
would be
but
so
I don't think I
brave
could do
to get on
dancing.
stage in front of a
No,
Taylor
that's what I was
Swift
gonna say. I
crowd.
don't think I could do the performance. I don't think I would do it. Modest Mouse, I could definitely sing Float On. That would be
Mm-hmm.
no problem. I mean, there's a few of them I could definitely sing, but I don't know. For some reason, my mind. Oh, the Killers. There's a lot of Killers ones. Like Spaceman from the Killers. I could definitely sing that. And yeah, there's a few of them. But anyways, I'll go with that. I'll say Spaceman because I think that'd be really
Ah,
fun
nice.
to sing as well.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, great question. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for listening. If you have any questions, comments, we're always open to feedback, unless you disagree with us, in which case, please keep it to yourself. And yeah, so thank you for listening today. Happy listening.
I see you next time.
Bye.